Doctor, thank you for giving us this interview. We want to know what is malaria.
Yeah, as you know, malaria is one of the deadliest and one of the oldest parasitic diseases that affect mankind. It is, as I said, a parasitic disease that is transmitted uh, from one person to another by a mosquito vector. Malaria, up until now, there's been a lot of control measures that have been put in place to eliminate and even eradicate malaria worldwide. And these are based around new tools that have been developed recently that include new diagnostic approaches, it includes vector control measures, and it includes new drugs that have been proven to be very effective against the disease. In terms of diagnosis, there are several different methods. It can be microscopy based, it can be based on the what you call the rapid diagnostic test,
Yes.
or it can be by use of molecular approaches that are very sensitive. The use of each test depends on the phase in which the country is in the pipeline of malaria elimination.
Yes.
So when I talk of the phase, there is what we call the control phase, there is the elimination phase, and you have sub-phases. For Cameroon, we are still at the control phase because malaria prevalence is still very high in our country. And the tools that are recommended for malaria diagnosis are microscopy and rapid diagnostic tests.
Yes.
As to what regards treatment, the recommended therapy is based on artemisinin combination therapies that have been proven to work very well in Cameroon. The problem with us is the uptake of these tools. The coverage, the Minister of Public Health is doing its best to see that the tools are distributed to the people. But recently we've been hearing that people don't use these tools, which is really a problem. And with such attitudes, we may never reach the elimination phase. So the third approach to control malaria is by use of insecticide-treated bed nets, okay, which have been shown to be very effective in protecting us against the mosquito bites and also protecting us against the transmission. These are tools, I mean, the diagnostics, the treatment, the vector control measures that if we all implement, that will facilitate and accelerate our movement from the control phase into the elimination phase.
And what can you say to people who are in the quarters about malaria?
Yeah, what I can tell them is that they should understand that malaria is a treatable and preventable disease. So if we all put our hands on deck to prevent and treat malaria, we'll get to elimination. So what do I mean? They should, the government of Cameroon has already put a lot of effort to distribute or to acquire all these tools and distribute to the population. It is unreasonable to hear that people take the insecticide treated bed nets and they put it as their window dressing or window blinds,
Yes.
and others are using it for fishing. So the fight against malaria has to be a concerted effort. It has to involve everybody, going from the government, going from the funding agencies, going from the researchers, right down to the community and different households. So everybody has to be involved, because if one person is protecting himself, okay, and the others are not doing the same, then the mosquitoes will carry the parasites from the infected people and move to the next person. So for us to win the war against malaria, everybody has to be involved. We have to go block by block, community by community, and region by region.
Yes. Here in Central Pastor of Cameroon, what are you doing to eradicate malaria?
Yes, Santo Pastor, here we are scientists, And the role of a scientist is to undertake research to identify problems and to provide solutions to those problems. Here at Centre Pasteur, we are working on understanding the malaria parasites better and also developing new tools that will be useful towards the eradication of malaria. For example, recently we have been able to develop 2 diagnostic tools. One of them is a very sensitive tool, more sensitive than the microscopy, more sensitive than the rapid diagnostic test. But this tool will be more useful during the elimination phase, because at the elimination phase, you find many people who have low densities of the parasites, which cannot be detected by microscopy or rapid diagnostic tests. So we are working towards developing next generation tools that will help push us towards the elimination of malaria. We have also developed a cell phone based diagnostic approach to facilitate microscopy detection of the parasites. So using your cell phone, and this we've been able to realize with our partners within the Pasteur International Network.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for giving us all this information.